Hey everyone, we're going to go ahead and look at some differences in iPhone sizes. We're going to start with the older models and work our way up. And here we have the iPhone 7 series, the iPhone 8 series, and the iPhone 10 series. We're going to look at the biggest difference between the iPhone 7 Plus and then the iPhone 7, which is obviously the size. And then they also have a different camera configuration. The 7 Plus has 2 cameras and the iPhone 7 has 1 camera. The biggest difference between the 7s and the 8s are the finish on the back. The 7s have an aluminum finish and the 8s have a glass back. Other than that, these all are the same size, so the 7 Plus and the 8 Plus are the same size and the cases usually correlate. And then they also introduced another model later on called the SE, and that fits the 7 and the 8. So they're the same size, it's just a newer model. And we're going to look at the 10s, which have vertical cameras now, and this is the first time they've introduced 3 models. So we have the 10, the 10R, and the 10 Max. And we're going to go ahead and look at them. All right, here we go. And then we've got the 10R, which only has 1 camera. The 10 and the 10 Max have 2 cameras. And now we're going to look at the iPhone 11. This is the first time they've introduced this square format and the first time that they've introduced 3 cameras. And the cameras also protrude more than they did on the 10, where the 10 was kind of covered a little bit. They also have 3 models for this series as well. So they have the 11 Pro Max, they have the 11 Pro, and then they also have the 11. And then the 11 has only 2 cameras, still in a square format though, and that will kind of replace the 10R. And now we're going to look at the difference between the 11 and the 12, and the biggest notable difference here is that they went back to a straight edge, where the 11 has a curved edge and the 12 now has a flat, rigid edge. And that's going to be the main difference between these 2 models. The camera configuration is still very similar, and you can also know that there are different colors for the series, so that green color is only found in the iPhone 11. And this is the first year they introduced MagSafe, so all of the iPhone 12s are MagSafe. And now they have 4 models instead of 3, so they have the 12 mini, the 12 Pro, and then the 12 Pro Max. The 12 and the 12 Pro are the same size, and those cases generally fit each other. You have to check with where you're getting your case, but most of the time they do fit each other. The 12 Pro Max is still the biggest size. And then we're going to look at the difference between the 12 and the 13s. And now, at a first glance, they look very similar. Both of these series have 4 different phone models in the series, though the 2 camera configuration has changed slightly. On the 13, they went with a diagonal orientation as opposed to the up and down vertical orientation. This is because they've made the lenses bigger on the iPhone 13s, and that's going to be the most notable difference across the board. So they're taller and they're wider in diameter. So when you're looking at the Pro models, the difference between the 12 Pro and the 12 Pro Max is these cameras are much larger. Like, you can see it here perfectly. Like, they're taller, they're wider, they protrude more, and that's going to be the biggest difference when you're looking at this. And I know it's hard to tell the difference when you don't have anything to compare it to. And we're going to take a look at the breakdown of the 13 series one more time. We've got the 13 mini, we've got the 13, we've got the 13 Pro, and we have the 13 Pro Max. And the difference this year between the 13 and the 13 Pro is pretty dramatic in the camera size. So these cases aren't actually going to be the same anymore. So now you're going to have to look at 4 different types of cases for each individual phone size. We're going to take another look, and you can see that the 12 Pro camera takes up less surface area than the 13 Pro camera. Alright, and that's how you can tell the different phone sizes based on just appearance.